time I ever set foot in a ring was at the Black and Brave Academy in Iowa, America, like you said.
And that's for people who don't know, the Black and Brave Academy is actually run by Seth Rollins from the WWE, or Tyler Black as he was known previously. But how much of a input did Seth Rollins have on your career when you were training? Was he there every day, sort of putting you guys through your paces, or did he have trainers there that was sort of moving things along?
Yeah, so there are trainers there, and it's a different story now compared to when I was there. Now he's got a lot of guys who have been involved in their system for a long time, helping train. So, but he still remains heavily involved because I went back there late last year. But when I was there, we were pretty lucky, I should say, because when I got there, most of my 12 weeks of training was when. I guess I shouldn't say lucky because it was unlucky for him. That was during his injury, the knee injury. So he was present at the training every single day. We trained 3 nights a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. He was there every single day until maybe the last 2 weeks, I think, was when he started doing TV again. So he was doing the Monday. I think back then it was Monday, Tuesday for Raw and SmackDown. So we missed out on Tuesday, but he'd be off the road on Wednesday, Thursday. He'd be there Wednesday, Thursday.
Wow.
So yeah, he was always present. Obviously with the in-ring when I was there, him being injured didn't help. But he was always up and about, doing as much as he could of, whilst also taking care of the high money investment that was his knee at the time and his body. So. Yeah, no. Look, his influence on the place is second to none. Obviously, his I guess the biggest thing he offers is work ethic. He made sure everyone knew that if you wanted to make it, you had to have a work ethic, like an enormous work ethic, and he would tell you that. But he would also back it up because he would be in there for 3 or 4 hours before the training started, doing his own. CrossFit sessions and training sessions, and then he would stick around for our training and help us out. So he'd be pulling 8 or 9 hour days in there on his days off, just trying to run the school and help us learn, I guess.
And I think that's the thing as well, as a trainer or as someone who has that power over, and I don't want to say power over people, but someone that people look up to, you really have to set the standard of what it has to be. And pro wrestling is one of those, industries or sports that you really have to, you'll get out of it what you put into it. And if you go into it and you're 100% committed to it, you're going to get success. It might not happen overnight. It might not happen, over a period of 6 to 12 months, but it will happen there if you keep grinding and grinding and grinding. And you look at some of the guys on WWE main roster, or even guys that are in other promotions that are at where they're at. They've invested that time. They've grinded and grinded and grinded to earn what they have. No one, unless you're like Goldberg, no one is given anything on a silver fucking platter. And that's pretty much in life as well.
Yeah.
But, Kevin Rodriguez, he has a question for you. He says, knowing all you know now, if you can go back and give yourself some advice when you were just getting started, what would that advice be?
Protect yourself more, I think. I remember I learnt the hard way. And by protect yourself, this is I guess it's not a story. I guess it's a storyline advice. It's a real life advice for myself as a performer. When I came back to Australia, I remember just thinking to myself, like, I have to make an impact here. And whilst I am quite experienced, I felt as if the one way for people to notice me was to sort of not, I don't want to say be physical, but put on some sort of physical matches where, if you put yourself through stuff, people would turn heads and be like, oh, he's willing to do that. Like that's pretty good. Like he really wants this. You know what I mean? That was my thinking. So I guess for the first year that I was here, I took some risks in the ring, which, I mean, I don't want to say I regret regret taking those risks, because technically I haven't been injured, touch wood, in wrestling yet, seriously. But the risks that I'm talking about have sort of put my body in a bit of a position where it's like, it's gonna wear you out quicker than you want it to. So, and I've learned that the hard way, and I feel as if now I'm starting to understand the concept of working, in a sense, better, so that I can protect my body and ensure that I can do this for as long as I want to, rather than as long as my body tells me that it can. So I guess off the top of my head, that would be the one bit of advice I would give to myself, to try and just take some easier bumps, so to speak.
Yeah, be smart with what you're about to
Be
do.
smart,
You know?
yeah. Make things mean something. Don't, yeah, you know what I mean. But in saying that, I did what I did, and I know where I am, probably because of it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you mentioned going over the States and training with Black and Brave for a year. While you were there, like, how far into your training were you actually then going out and getting bookings and starting to do matches and start doing shows?
From the day I finished training, after 12 weeks, I think it was another 2 weeks, I was in a Rumble. And then after that, another 2 weeks, so about a month, we were doing singles matches on shows. And mind you, quite entry-level indies where you're scratching and clawing for any sort of opportunity you get. You might get paired with someone you know, you might get paired with someone you don't know from around the Midwest, which is where we were. But I was fortunate enough to have trained relatively hard whilst I was quite hard. It's probably the hardest I've ever trained whilst I was over there. So I was in good shape, and being 6'2" and whatever, 96, 97 kilos, it sort of helps on the eye for when you turn up to these entry level promotions, and the promoter can take one look at you and go, yeah, I'm going to give him a chance. You know what I mean? So I was pretty fortunate to jump in the car with some guys over there, and go to these shows and get some early opportunities to sort of learn, just learn how to put on a simple match in front of a simple crowd, and build from there.
And how did you find, because obviously you're a young guy going over and just going, I'm going to go and live in the United States for the next 12 months. I'm going to train to be a professional wrestler. How was it for you? Like, was that the first time you going over to another country? And how was it you adapting from the Australian lifestyle to the American lifestyle?
Yeah, not the first time I'd been to another country, but the first time I lived in another country for an extended period of time. Like you said, I was there for about 10, 11 months, so pretty much a year. So having to settle yourself in and do your daily routine over there rather than a traveling schedule, that was a change. But I guess I had great support over there. Like, I can't speak highly enough for everyone involved in Black and Brave and the wrestling community over there, because everyone just got behind each other, and I felt everyone getting behind me, because there was one other Canadian in my class. Me and him were the first international students to come through that school. So I guess, I'm not sure what it was. Maybe maybe I'm a nice guy, but they sort of really helped me out when I needed it, with lifts and I don't know, just anything that I sort of needed, they were there for it. So that made living there easier. In terms of wrestling, I guess, yeah, like I didn't